Relationship had no pretenses. It's as if we were old friends from the day we met. We understood each other. There were never any awkward silences and no need for explanations or apologies. We connected on a deep, spiritual level. Meditating together had become a ritual that only added to the meditative and transcendent qualities of our sex. Carly took me to another realm, and I loved her completely.
Minutes, I'm going to basically spit in the face of every self-righteous relationship guru, sex advice columnist, and magazine article you've ever listened to, show you why shelling out hard-earned cash for flowers, jewelry, and expensive nights out on the town could actually be murdering your love life, and teach you, as weird as this sounds, how you can use tiny little text messages sent from your cell phone to get your wife incredibly turned on, feeling very naughty, and craving your attention on demand, whenever, wherever, and however you want. By the end of this short presentation, which won't be up for long, you'll feel like you have the magic keys to your wife's libido, and will watch your love life take off like the space shuttle, no matter how many years or decades you've been married, no matter how many kids you have or how little privacy, no matter how busy your job is or how little time you have, no matter how tired she is, sleeping will be the last thing on her mind. No matter how down on her body she's been, she'll feel like the sexiest woman in the world. And no matter how hopeless you think things have got so far. In fact, if you follow what I say in this video and put it into action like hundreds of guys have before you, your wife will thank you, will brag to her friends about the amazing heat in your marriage, will be happier than you've seen her in years, and will start thinking of you as her own personal sex god, who she'd do almost anything to please, even if you've got a bit of a gut and don't go to the gym. Who the heck am I to make such a huge promise, and why should you listen to me? My name is Michael Fiore, and as embarrassing as it is for me to admit, I've never been married or even been close to getting married. I've never lived with a girlfriend except 3 awful months back in college, and I've never been in a relationship that lasted longer than 3.5 years, and for most of that relationship, I was incredibly frustrated and miserable, had no idea how to turn my girlfriend on. I'm just a regular guy who stumbled onto a weird but freakishly effective way to turn any woman on, which has nothing to do with what most of the experts tell you about romance. Honestly, as a married guy, there's no reason at all for you to soak up what I have to say today, except what I'm going to teach you right now has already transformed the lives of hundreds of married guys just like you. And every day I get dozens of emails just like this. Scared the bejesus out of me at first, Michael, but I followed what you said and I was amazed at the results. I never thought my wife would be the one to initiate sex. Now she can't get enough. Mark L., Massachusetts, married 15 years with 3 kids. I sent 3 texts and my wife was so hot for me when I got home. We had the best sex in years. Thank you, Michael. You've got to share this stuff with the world. Tim Thomas, Las Vegas, Nevada, married 2 years with 1 baby on the way. This couldn't have come at a better time. My wife and I were right in the middle of a dry patch when I discovered your stuff. Her reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Now her friends keep asking me to teach their husbands how to do this. Jim from Seattle, Washington, married 18 years with 2 kids. Okay, so when I first started sharing this texting formula with my frustrated guy friends, a lot of them said to me, using text messages to get my wife into bed, no freaking way that would work for me. And if you're like a lot of married guys, you might have fallen for the dangerous myth that says your wife just isn't that into sex anymore, that having a crappy sex life is just part of being married, that you've tried everything without any success. Or you might think if you ever had the balls to send your wife a dirty text message like some horny teenager, you'd end up sleeping on the couch and choking down leftovers for a week. That's a really common response from men. In fact, a lot of guys who I first talked to about this say that. Now let me tell you why it's 100% not true and why your wife is desperately waiting for you to use this stuff to take control. To do that, first we need to debunk a common and dangerous myth about your wife's sex drive and show you why it's probably a lot higher than you think it is and is actually a lot higher than she thinks it is too. Fact. As guys, we hit our sexual peak where we're our most virile and most easily turned on around age 17, which is why teenage boys walk around with permanent hard-ons and get excited at the touch of a passing breeze. But women don't hit their sexual peak until they're in their 30s. It sounds incredible, but your average 35-year-old woman really is as ridiculously horny and sex-obsessed as a 15-year-old boy who just discovered dad's hidden stack of Playboys. Unlike teenage boys, though, women are a lot better at hiding just how amped up they actually are. What this means is that your wife, if she's in her late 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s, is secretly a sexual live wire just waiting to be set loose. If you know how to flip the switch and give her permission to act. Okay, so if your wife is actually secretly horny and subconsciously wants sex even more than you do, why isn't she jumping your bones every time you stumble home after a hard day at work? That's a really good question. And here's the really good answer. In order for your wife to actually act on her secret sex drive that I swear is driving her crazy, she needs 3 things. First, your wife needs you to wake up her desire by drawing her attention to it in a way she's hardwired to respond to. This goes down to the use it or lose it idea. A lot of women, because they're not given the right kind of stuff every day, kind of sublimate their sex drive. So we're going to teach you how to wake it up. Second, you need to give her permission to act on her sexual impulses without fear of being judged or feeling like a slut. As her husband, you've actually got a huge advantage here over us single guys. And third, you need to make her feel truly, undeniably sexy so she can get over any body issues and come after you for what she wants. Really, Maxim ruins everything and makes a lot of women who are really beautiful and sexy feel like they don't measure up. So how do you do all of that? Well, you do it by understanding a fundamental truth